I believe we're about ready to get started. Pardon the few minutes delay. Thank you so much for joining us for the first community-wide town hall, one of many, many to come. I'm excited about the progress that has been made this week. I know it's been a pretty stressful week for everyone, but I feel very positive that the update that Justin's son will give tonight will be very informative and hopefully, calm some of the stresses over the week. So with that, we have Justin Sun with us tonight, and then I am going to introduce Matt Starkers. Starkers, everyone knows. Going to have him moderate. I think he is the perfect person to be the go-between for the community, the witnesses, Steem Inc. and Tron. So with that, we've got some questions from the community that people will address and just kind of go from there. So Matt, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hello, thank you, Elizabeth. Justin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, it's good to hear your voice. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So as you know, it's been a tumultuous couple of weeks and we've got lots of issues to work through. I'm going to try and keep this relatively light for the time being. There's a couple of difficult questions, and hopefully, we'll try not to push too much, but we'll try and push it to the point where there's answers that you can give so that the Steem community might feel more clarity on what's going on.
Sorry, Matt. This is Roy to interrupt here. I think Justin has something prepared he wants to say to the community.
Yeah, you're going to do an initial statement, yeah? Okay, no problem. Please take it away.
So I will do the first, or Roy, you want to say something before?
No, Justin, you can go ahead. It's your statement. You should go ahead.
Sure. So basically, I think we want to have this channel for not even for today, but we want to have like a regular communication channel. Always keep the community can have a channel to talk with us. And also here today, I think our purpose is more for communication, because I know there's a lot of the rumors is spread like every day. So we just want the community to always know our opinion directly from me. So like everybody can get accurate information. And also at the same time, we want to advocate for de-escalation. Because we know like recently there's lots of the news and rumors spread about Steemi and Steem community. We just want those rumors to come down, and our governance and our development map, roadmap, like everything can go back to the normal. So basically my idea here is de-escalation and more communication. And I have like 100% confidence eventually we will find a way out, and all the government structure and the roadmap will be back to the normal. Yeah, that's pretty much my idea here.
Certainly sounds positive. Okay, so I'll kick it off with a couple of questions. I've been around the community today and I've got different questions from different factions and parts of the community. So hopefully we'll be able to answer some of those as we go through. The first one that a user's asked is based on I'm not sure if you're aware, but the witnesses are putting together a statement to reassure the exchanges that their funds are safe once, if a power down begins. If that is released by the witnesses, which I understand it's planned to happen in the near future, would you support that statement, and would you then go into discussing a kind of path that returns us to normality? What's in your mind for that going forwards?
First of all, I believe this is a fantastic statement. I think the only reason why we get into this governance structure and the exchange get into this governance structure is just afraid their fund will got froze again. So that's basically the only concern I have.
as long as I think we fully address like exchange concerns about the fund got frozen, I think I have chance to persuade the exchange to power down like their votes basically.
That's very encouraging news. I think a lot of people will be happy about that. The next, have you got any thoughts on a process after that power down, after the exchange power down, after the process of the exchanges powering down? What do you think should happen next in your mind? Have you got a vision for that yet?
Yeah, sure, totally. I hold like AMA in our Korean community yesterday. So I mean in the AMA I also say this. So the only reason can you guys hear me? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the only reason we get into this kind of the governance is because our fund got frozen in the first place. So if our fund and everybody's fund is secure, we don't want to do the governance at all. I can give you some like track record, you know, even like in the Tron community, the Tron Foundation never took our funds to vote in our process. The only like moment we reserve our rights is something like bad for the network or something like really bad for, of course, like people's fund got frozen is one of them. So if some extreme things happen, we may intervene. But if there is no like extreme situation, we won't like intervene at all. We have been like handle like Tron network governance for almost 2 years. I think we doing like a successful job. And also the second track record is when we like first acquire all the like the share of the Steemi and all the Steam in the Steemi Inc. We didn't use any of them to vote. So basically, if we really have bad intention, we want to get like centralized structure here, we can vote the first day we basically we acquire those shares, but we didn't do any of these, right? And also of course, even I mean we have like a moment, we have like a 20 witness there for like almost 1.5 a day. We didn't do anything. We didn't deploy like any bad notes, try to take anybody's fund or freeze anybody's fund or cancel like anybody witness for running for the witness, right? We have the capability of doing that, but we didn't do any of this. The only thing 225 is doing is only to take back our funds. And I know like Roy have been communicates with the community nodes for very long. We have some like ideas. For example, reduce like the power down period for exchange, let them to get their fund quickly. And all of these, we've been through the democratic discussion process. We didn't deploy all these codes in the 225. So the only thing we're doing in the 225 is get our funds basically. We didn't even pass like anything without like discussion with the community. So that's is always like our stance. We won't willing to advocate for basically for centralized governance. We always want to give this back to the community as long as our fund and exchange funds is secure. And also, of course, I can guarantee the community we won't like basically vote for like interfere into the voting process as long as our fund is secure. So that's like it's always my idea. So I think the future path we will towards like giving back like all the witness to the communities, and we just focus on the development roadmap and the increase the value of the Steemi. That's like all we cares.
Well, I'm looking forward to something like that, and I think many people are, because the great thing about these blockchains is that when you make a statement as a witness on the blockchain, it's there forever. So effectively, you're saying, "Please hold me to account. I'm giving my word here," you know, and I'm sure the statements that come out from the witnesses will support the security of those funds in the power down process. Okay, I appreciate your thoughts on a path to normality. I know that there's a lot of questions that particularly the witnesses have, but I'm not a witness, and I think there's going to be a lot more talks with your colleague Roy over the coming days, and I think more details will be discussed on an actual, tangible plan to hand to kind of return to normality over the next few days. So looking forward to that. The next question, a user was asking, please outline how you see Stron, if that's what people want to call it, I don't know, STRON, Steem Tron token, working and benefiting both ecosystems. Mention atomic swaps and what Tron can do to bring investment and liquidity into that token.
Yeah, sure, totally. First of all, I believe like Tron and the Steem actually have lots of synergies. Both of them is depots, and actually like Tron developers learn a lot of the technical side from Steem. Actually, a lot of the Tron developers they started Tron like from like learning from the Steem blockchain. So that's why I believe there's lots of synergy there. And also, I think first of all, Tron has lots of the things Steem didn't have. First of all, we have a very experienced application develop experience. If you know, we're running the largest live streaming platform in voice live streaming platform in China. We have lots of the apps. So we are doing like Android, like iOS, like a web. All of these, we have lots of the developers on this. I know the Steemi community and Steem community have been like asking for like a better like a mobile user experience for a long time. We need to get like a very good like user experience for both mobile and the web, also for a new user experience to get more people into the Steemi product and the Steem blockchain basically. So that's why I think that the first thing we have is a big advantage. Also, Tron has a very good experience on develop smart contracts on the blockchain. I think Steem also lots of the Steem community, they want the smart contract on the Steem blockchain. So which means we have more possibility on the blockchain. So that's like something definitely I think we can benefit with. And also I think Steem also have lots of the advantage. First of all, we have a very active community. That's like I mean, it's the first reasons why we are interested in get into the Steem community in the first place, right? So I can like stay away like from Steem community, right? Just focusing on doing Tron stuff. Why we have the reasons, right, to buy Steemi Inc. and also to buy a lot of the Steem tokens. Right, these days we are not only have the token we inherited from the Steem Inc., but also personally I also buy lots of the Steem token. I mean, all these reasons is because I have confidence on Steem community, and I think community is one of our biggest assets here. So that's why I mean, it's the reason why we invested in all this in the first place. And I also want to say, like, I persuade lots of the people. They are all also like very big name in the crypto community. They want to buy Steem token. I convince them. Steem actually has a huge um, basically huge opportunities here and the potential here. Even though some of them may get scared away because my fund got frozen because they obviously like no investor, they want to invest like a crypto tokens, you can freeze their accounts, right? And of course, I think like every investor wants like a community has a friendly attitude towards the whales, right? Even though I know like sometimes we also even in the Bitcoin community, in the Tron community, people sometimes is not like very friendly to whales. But definitely we need those new investors. We need them to feel safe if they invest into Steem and participate in our governance. So that's why I believe exactly. Some people say like funds are no longer frozen. It's very important if we want to move forward. not only my funds, I think everybody's funds should be like completely safe in our network, so we can get more whales, like more investors get into our network. So everybody will be happy, and the price of the Steem token will increase dramatically in the future. I have the confidence on that.
That's excellent to hear. Just another question from a user was asking earlier, regards to the power down. Have you got any idea, as far as your information goes, as to when the exchanges will power down, when they'll begin the power down?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I think the announcement you said before is fantastic. Like I will discuss with the exchange definitely. I think once they feels like secure on their side, because this is the decision of the exchange, right? I think as long as the exchange they feel like they are safe, I gonna relay the message of the announcement, like the progress and the communication. We have basically together, and my assessment on the possibility their fund will get frozen or not, right? After all the evaluation, I think as long as, because the only concern exchange have is their funds got frozen. But as long as they feel comfortable on all these, I think it's definitely a high possibility exchange will power down their tokens very soon.
And then following that event, would you be looking to also restore the top 20 to the governance position? Is that
Yeah,
something
definitely. That's definitely something we want to do. So the only like concern we have here is our fund got frozen. Even it's not like about the voting rights. If the hard fork 222 is only about cancel the voting rights of those like accounts, I mean, it is actually okay for me. I mean, I won't like take like any action at all. So the only, I think the things triggers all this is about the hard fork 222 actually freeze like 65 million Steem like completely, you know. That's the only thing here. So as long as we feel safe about like the all the assets we have here, we definitely like willing to give back all of this to the community.
That's really good to hear. And I know that there's no negotiation going on here or anything, but I know that there's meetings planned with Roy over the next few days and the coming week to discuss the actual details of that. And it sounds from you really, really positive, and I think there's potentially a way forwards there somewhere. So
yeah, totally. I want to add something here, so Steem community can check our track record in the Tron community. In the past, we never like interfere with any like community discussion. They can feel free to do whatever they want, right? We grow like Tron from like 30 million like cap when we first started Tron to today is 1.8 billion, right, US dollars. We have put lots of the efforts into our community. We have put lots of the efforts in the development of the the Tron community. And I mean the Steem community, I see the cap today is around like 80 million something. It's similar to when we first started the Tron. So I think we have the possibility to grow Steem community to 1 billion US dollars, 2 billion US dollars, 5 billion US dollars in the future.
Well, that's actually really an interesting point you're making, because my next question was actually, what do you see? I got a question from a member today of the community asking, what do you think the Steem token price will be with your vision of the joint ecosystems?
Yeah, sure.
I think,
and I also want to clarify a misunderstanding here. I know some of the like the people they advocate for 222 soft fork, the frozen of foundation fund, is they spread the rumors, or they just have this kind of the misunderstanding. Is like 2 days or 3 days ago they said like Tron Foundation actually use like the fund Tron Foundation holds to interfere the governance in Tron. I also want to like give you guys, you can like verify with like any like Tron super representative too. But I will like tell you the truth, what like actually real happens in the Tron community, is because we have like 3 like dorm super representative, so they get elected in the Tron community by their own funds. That's why they are kind of like dorm super representative. We have been like pin them for like a month or something, because like, you know, as like every blockchain, we have like update, right? And the features is all like community member is great too. So basically, because we have 27 super representative, like 24 of them is great on this, and these 3 dorm representative, they just don't reply the message. They are not like saying like participate in discussion or anything. And this has been like over like a month, something like this. So that's why we can even like contact them. So, but we can't like wait there forever. If we can't contact them, we can't like wait there forever, right? So that's why we, after like the discussion, we believe we need to intervene to elect like 3 nodes, like replace them, so we can finish our upgrade basically. And the reason why we use the Zion account is exactly we don't want to use the account Tron Foundation holds. So Zion account is basically is kind of like in the middle of it. So basically, the Zion account means a lot of the funds in the ERC20 Tron accounts. So basically, you know, there's a 2 Tron accounts. One is ERC20, one is mainnet accounts. So basically, the Zion accounts is the ERC20 reserve for the ERC20 accounts. So that's why we think it's fine, because this is not the accounts Tron Foundation holds. It's just the ERC20 reserve. So that's why we use the Zion account to vote to replace those 3 dorm super representative and finish our upgrade. And the moment we find out we finish the upgrade, we withdraw all the votes. It's just like take like seconds. We withdraw all the votes, and then the governance back to normal. Even you can see in this case, even the super representative there is storm for, I mean, 2-3 months. They even reply any message. The only thing we do is just to replace them for 5 minutes, just trying to get our update. And even finish the update, we withdraw the vote, they back to the seats. And also, of course, we have a discussion in the future if the super representative is always storm there, we need to find a way to punish them, right? Because we want them to participate in the discussion like actively. We don't want them to be dormant like all the time. So that's why that's something like really happens. It's not like somebody spread rumors. It's like Tron Foundation just trying to take down the community nodes. That's just simply is a false rumor.
Okay. The questions that I had written were basically in the things that you've said. You've answered most of them. So what I want to do now is just refer to the comments in the chat, and just see if we can get some information from you on your thoughts. So Osbik Bank was saying, he says you interfered with SR voting on Tron the week you announced the Steemi buy, and I think the reason he's saying that is obviously while everyone on Steam was deciding whether to do a soft fork or not. Yeah. This news came out and it scared the crap out of everyone, you know. And could we get your thoughts on that and maybe a bit of empathy to you know, to appreciation as to why the Steam witnesses found that as a worrying piece of news?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I want to express my appreciation to the Steam community. I know you guys had put like lots of the hard work into the development of the Steam and Steemi. And I think we made this far is because of everybody's efforts. And also, I believe this is just like a misunderstanding. So basically, I think in the future, if you guys heard like any like rumors about Tron and about anything about even about me, so I feel like we can have this kind of the town hall meetings. Like everybody can communicate with me directly. I think this will be fantastic. So because even the media, I mean, they spread like rumors lots of the time. I have been like deal with media since I started my business in 2012. Is have been like 8 years. I know lots of the media, they try to like misguided people to get traffic. So that's, I feel like communication is always the best. You can hear the truth directly from me, so you can know like how this happens. Yeah, some people mention like the fake news like CoinDesk. Definitely CoinDesk is one of them. So we always try to get in touch with CoinDesk and tell them what's really happens. They just don't want to believe me. So so that's, I believe if we have like this kind of the regular basis communication, you guys can hear the information directly from me. That's gonna be like fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of the FUD out there, right? So that's why the communication will clean all those FUD immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think the other thing here that's important is the narrative as well. The Steem community has a narrative that it's taking, and if it moves away from that narrative, it's kind of a protection. I think there's a way to build trust there between the communities, so that the Steem community doesn't move away from that narrative. You know, and hopefully that works in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Rondon, yeah.
I want to add something here. I mean, as I say before, right? You guys can check our records. Even for Tron, we hold lots of the Tron. We didn't like take like 27 super representative is Tron Foundation holding, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. You know, we're gonna do such a thing, right? So even like Tron these days is all community governed. So we didn't like interfere like any of these basically.
Yeah, and you know, on the flip side for the Steem community, regards to the security for the exchanges, I would personally say that it wouldn't make sense for them to freeze those accounts, even regardless of whether they publish the witness statements.
Yeah.
Why would they freeze those accounts? Because it's other people's money, and it would really be bad PR for the Steem community if they did that. You know? So,
exactly.
It works both ways. You know.
Yeah. I think they just got get like also afraid of like the soft fork like 226. I don't know who like posted online and put all the exchange like name on the list to make them feel scared basically. I think as long as we clarify all these, it is definitely actually there is I think it's just like the miscommunication.
Okay, the next question here is Rondon is one of the prominent members of the community, was asking, we need a path forward that allows us not to trust each other and allows you to not to trust us, right? So it's a trustless technology that we have here, you know. And he's pushing towards, can we employ the trustlessness of the technology, and are you happy to do that and try and build technology that enables that?
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Just going through a few more of the questions here. The list has moved down quite a lot since I was waiting to ask that question.
Exactly.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to work. Yeah, there's a lot of sentiment. There's a lot of emotions in the chat, you know. And one of the things I want to try to, I don't want to get into the emotional side of this talk. I want to focus on visions for the way forward and solutions and things like this, you know. I mean, are you planning to do this every week, this type of chat at the moment?
Yeah, I think totally. First of all, I think we should have like a regular basis. If this is every week, I think we can like take like every week to be basically as a good like time frame for this. I think we can have like a weekly town hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Donald Porter's saying here is the power of the Steem blockchain governance is what got us here, and we are talking about Tron's lack of decentralized governance. I don't want to, I don't want to be negative here, but there is a perception within the Steem community that the Tron system is more centralized because you own so much of the token. So you have a very weighted vote, whereas the Steem community has always been, it's acting in a more decentralized way. And can we get your thoughts on that and how you would support that in Steem? Maybe support the sovereignty of Steem going forwards?
Yeah, totally. I fully support that. And I want to also clarify this like miscommunication. And this is, I think, is also like a stereotype for Tron as well. I want to like tell the truth about Tron too. So Tron is like fully decentralized. We always like advocate for the governance of the community, and also we also help like the community members to develop like on the Tron like community. We have like like Roy is very familiar with this, and our tech team, they are very familiar with this because this is their daily job. They help the community members to build the wallet, build the dApps, build everything on Tron like every day. And also they communicate with lots of the, in our community, we call this SRs, to super representative, like every day. So they are the witness on the Steem. So basically in the Steem is called witness, and in Tron they are called a super representative. So we communicate with them like every day. And actually I think we got lots of the progress on the Tron network. Like all the basically the proposal we pass is based on the community consensus. Like every change we want to make on the Tron blockchain, we will discuss with community super representative like one by one, and all the Tron super representative is the same, elected by the Tron token holders. And also that's some like things we want to relay here. I'm not like advocate for that, but the Tron power down period is 3 days. And I think this is like very positive. Lots of the exchange, they also want to power down and get into the governance, because I think the more people get in, the better. So in the Tron, we are happy to collaborate with the exchange, like Binance, like Huobi, like lots of the exchange, Poloniex, they all participate in the Tron governance. We want to invite like more exchange to participate and also have their voice. And also the power down period is just like 3 days. Actually, it's increased the staking percentage. And I think this is a good thing and also good for the Tron price. And actually, I think the Tron has lots of the practice in decentralization governance. And definitely, I think right now Tron is in a very good, on a very good track. I want Steem to have the same. Basically, that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting thoughts. That for your information, there is a very long, drawn-out debate going on the Steem blockchain that's very interesting regards to power down times.
Yeah, exactly.
And before the Tron announcement came out, it was one of the hot topics on Steem at the time as to whether we reduce the power down time.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's obviously lots of witnesses talking about that, and I'm sure they'd love to have your involvement and see if you get involved in that.
Exactly. And okay, I believe like just as we doing before, right? So like basically like every decision we made on the Steem blockchain, we want to hear like everybody's opinions. We want to discuss with the witness like one by one. We won't like push like any agenda without the community consensus. That's also something we do on the Tron blockchain too.
So the last question then, Addicted says, it doesn't matter that you haven't done it, it matters that you can do it. And this is just related to the trustlessness, you know? And I think there's a lot of sentiment within the Steem community where people are they're just worried that it can happen, right? It's not supposed to be that way. They want to see that you guys, you work together to build code into the chain to prevent catastrophes from happening, prevent hostile takeovers from happening. Would you support that type of, those types of thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely want to explore this type of thoughts. as long as it's not like. So first of all, I think it's two sides. First of all, I think we want to prevent from like centralized like powers like take over the network, and also I think the same time we want to prevent from like the community consensus to do something bad for network, right? For example, like froze people's assets. So this is, I think this is a very interesting, because even this kind of the blockchain governance is just like the democratic system, how democratic system works, you know. You know, like even back to the US government, when the US founding fathers, they first like found the United States, they have this kind of the debate too, you know. They want to guarantee the US government to be like democratic, but they also have this kind of the constitution amendment to guarantee, even with the consensus, democratic consensus, freedom of speech, sanctity of the private property, and all these will be still stand alone all the way, you know. So that's why, I mean, we need to hold a balance here. I think this is like a fantastic topic, even like beyond like blockchain, beyond the governance of the Steem. I think it is about like everybody's rights, like everybody, how we like govern the blockchain, right? And also the future of the blockchain. I always feel we need to have this like democratic system, how it works, and also the same time we have this kind of the rights is always guaranteed. It's kind of like a guarantee by the like constitution amendment, or it's written down in the constitution. So definitely I want to explore all this because actually I'm like kind of like interested in this kind of the governance for a long time. So that's definitely something I want to explore here.
Well, this is very interesting to hear, because Steem has been a social experiment for 4 years, having a continuous debate about exactly those things.
Yeah,
and you have certainly made your mark in the last couple of weeks. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, I think that's all we got for now. Is there anything else from you, Justin, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure. So basically my idea here is de-escalation and the increase communication. So we don't want to like rush to like any decision or action plans. But I think as long as we keep communication, I think after we clear all the miscommunication, definitely I believe we will find a way out. And I think this is super positive for the Steem and Steemi community. And definitely I want to hear more. And also I want to guarantee here, we won't like push any agenda as long as before we communicate with everyone.
That's very good to hear. I'm sure the witnesses will and the community will appreciate that very much. Okay, well, that's all from me then. Unless there's anything else from you, I think we can wrap it up. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt, so much for moderating this. You're truly a gem. Justin, thank you for making the time. I think this was great. I think we look forward to many more of these discussions to come, and there's progress being made. And I am hopeful. So let's just keep this moving forward, and more updates to come next week for sure. So everyone have a great weekend. Appreciate it all. Again, thank you for coming here, and yeah, we'll talk to y'all next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Justin.